I I don't even know where to start.
Because that's the Star Wars way.
And you know what? At least we got to see the Mandalorian Grogu trailer in like big screen format, right? And we're finally getting a Star Wars movie. It's been 6 years. We get a Star Wars movie. It's something. They're filming another one, that Starfighter movie with Ryan Gosling that Sean Levy's directing,
Mm,
right? Like
yeah.
maybe Star Wars will make a comeback next year. Maybe. I'm
But
hopeful.
it does look good, but based off of like what happened last night to us, I'm like a little like,
You're a little gun shy.
yeah, I was very disappointed last night. As I said, I think like 27 times
Yeah.
in the parking lot.
And we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. That's our lead off topic tonight because we didn't even do it last night. Normally we do early screenings. We go straight home and record for the YouTubes. But no, we're like, nope,
Yeah.
no, I got nothing. I got nothing. Um, yeah, I don't know. There is um yeah, there's some stuff. So to answer the chat, yes, we did see Tron Ares yesterday at an early screening on Wednesday night. And we have notes. We do have notes. Jay and I probably spent half an hour in the parking lot outside the AMC, right? Discussing the film. And we're gonna do that. We did not do what we normally do for early screenings. When we get early screening typics, we typically go see the movie. We go straight back to the studios, our respective studios, and we record both a spoiler-free and a spoiler review for uploading to the YouTubes because it helps with algorithms and things like that. We didn't do it last night, for a couple of different reasons.
It sucked.
One, it was later than we normally get in early screenings around 6, which means we're usually done by 9, so we can get back by 9:30. And recording takes less time than live streaming, honestly. Like it really does. Um, and so usually we can be done doing the recording. I can render and edit, and we're uploaded by 10:30, 11 o'clock on early screening nights. Last night it was a 7 o'clock show, and we didn't quite get there. Um, but since people in the chat are asking about it, fuck it, let's go to work. Come to you live from our weird home studios. It is the Eric Code Show for October 9th, your place for news, pop culture, politics, gaming, whatever the hell else we want to talk about, because it's our show. If you want to support the show, if you have Amazon Prime, you get one free Prime sub on Twitch, and you can give us that and pay us Amazon's money. We'd really appreciate it. Comment, like, and subscribe on videos to our YouTube channel. We're on the march to 5,000 subs. We're trying to get there. We're trying to get our watch hours up. So even if you're leaving it on in the background, it helps us. And again, sharing it to your various social medias also really helps us. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Ericode Show. Join the Discord. It wants me to restart to install Windows updates, and I'm telling it to go get fucked. I'm actually going to turn one of your pre-shows into a topic, because we did this a little while ago, and I'm gonna bring up some stuff.
Is
Um,
it sports ball?
no, no, the other one.
Okay.
Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and jump into topic number one tonight, which is this. We went out to an early screening, as Jay and I are want to do, right? To go see Tron Ares. Jay and I are big fans of the Tron franchise, right? The original Tron is a cult classic. Both he and I are unapologetic defenders of Tron Legacy and that wonderful, wonderful Daft Punk soundtrack. Okay, it was amazing. Loved Tron Legacy. Okay, so we went into Tron Ares with hopes, high hopes for Tron Ares, Jared Leto aside. Okay, the trailers looked good, right? Trailers looked solid, and a soundtrack. They went from Daft Punk to Nine Inch Nails, and we were like, all right, like this could be good. This could be good. And then we went and saw the movie. I'm gonna get one thing out of the way up front. The only early screening we could get into was 3D. Yeah. 3D is still a gimmick. There was a couple of points where I was like, "Oh, that looks neat," but it's not. If you're paying extra money to see this movie in 3D, just don't. Okay, just don't. It's not worth it. Just on the 3D thing, did you have anything to add on that, Jay?
I didn't like it. Yeah, because when I was looking at tickets, we only had a 3D option, and annoying. And yeah, I felt like 99% of the time it was not needed. I was annoyed that I had to sit there and wear glasses to watch this movie. And it was a movie. That part's accurate. It's technically a movie.
It was a film.
Yeah.
In the
it
cinema.
was a film. Yeah.
Let's start with good stuff. We like starting with good stuff on this show. It was beautifully shot. Right?
Yes.
The cinematography was top tier. The visuals were great. In every grid they were in, it looked cool. When the recognizer comes to the real world, which you see pieces of in the trailer, so that's not a spoiler. It looks dope, right? There's a sequence early on in the movie that they don't really show in the trailer where it's like a light bike fight, but in the real world. Right? And you only see kind of that one glimpse where they cut the cop car in half, but that's actually a much longer sequence. That was a really cool sequence. And I think I speak for Jay and I both when I say, yeah, we came out and both of us were like, that was a movie. It was indeed a film. To be clear, neither of us hated it. We didn't walk out being like, this is garbage trash. But it wasn't great.
No. It should have been so much better. Yeah.
Yeah, the effects were good. I love the cast, right? Some surprise stuff in there too. Like I love Evan Peters, right? I got no indication for the trailers that Evan Peters was in this movie. Right? That's actually another thing I think the trailers did wrong. And I've had overnight to think about this. Trailers have a series of functions, right? Your first trailer for a movie is just supposed to kind of be like, oh, that's neat. I don't need to know anything about the story, right? Just make it neat. But your second and third trailers are supposed to give you some indication as to what the structure of this movie is. What's the story? What am I going to see? And I'll tell you this, when I walked out of the movie and after I thought about it, I was like, none of the trailers gave me any indication of the movie that I was watching. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Maybe if we knew not to look into a lightsaber like this, beforehand, maybe we could cut down on lightsaber deaths. Just saying.
Yeah. It just felt incomplete. And so here was the analysis that Jay and I were talking about after the movie. I have a theory that this was a Disney Plus series, right? Yeah. And if you watch this movie, you can go back and pick out episodes, right? Because each one was like this little self-contained chunk, right? That didn't flow very well. And I feel like it was a Disney Plus series that they were like, we'll make this a movie. That's fine. The effects are going to be too expensive. We got to make some of this money back. Yeah. Oh boy. It felt like a show to me. That was my problem. We don't have preview night information for the box office. But Jay and I both agree. I think this is gonna bomb.
Yeah. What I thought was really interesting is when I went to go buy the tickets, it was almost completely sold out. And then when we showed up to the theater, I think only like half the theater is full. So like people were like canceling tickets.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Interestingly, this is another one of those ones that's varying pretty widely. Tron Ares is currently sitting on a 53% critic score, but an 85% audience rating on the popcorn meter. That's weird. I'm not there. I'm not there with you, audience. Again, we don't have preview night numbers. They didn't release any, which is generally not a good sign, because if they're really, really good, they're gonna release them. Yeah. I didn't hate Jared Leto. I thought he was fine. I was glad we got Jeff Bridges back. I thought it was interesting to see Hassan Minhaj in there. I was like, what? And for most of the movie, I was like, are you a good guy or a bad guy? I can't. Okay, you're good. Never mind. We're good. All right, you're fine. You're just a goof. I'm fine with it. So yeah. I guess you could probably sum Jay and I as just disappointed.
Yeah.
Not angry.
We're not mad. Just disappointed.
Yeah. I desperately wanted to like this movie.
Yeah. Yep, I did too. And maybe that's it. Maybe I went in with like too high expectations. I was super psyched. Nine Inch Nails was doing the soundtrack.
The music was good.
Yeah, and I think, I had this theory also in the parking lot last night. Maybe this movie, it is a movie was actually created to promote the new Nine Inch Nails album.
Also a viable theory. Yeah. Again, I don't know what else to say about this movie. Look, if you've got AMC A-List and you're not having to pay any extra movie and it's one of your 4 free movies a week, it's not a bad way to spend a couple hours and eat some popcorn. A lot of the other reviews I've seen are for people who aren't very familiar with the Tron franchise, and all those people seem to like it a lot. Maybe because I, am so embedded in the lore of the Tron franchise and stuff. Maybe that's why I didn't like it very much. It's possible. Very not. There were references to Tron Legacy, but no direct connection to what happened in Tron Legacy, which kind of drove me a little nuts. There was also, I think, a missed opportunity, and I'm going to turn on the spoiler thing for just a minute. Okay, so let me spoil one quick thing. Okay, so in the original Tron movie, Tron is a program. Tron is Tron, and he fights for the users. Okay, and then in Tron Legacy, Clue usurps Tron and turns him into Riddler. But in the end, Tron freaking remembers who he is, and he fights for the users. And there was an opportunity here to put Tron in this movie. Tron is not in this movie. And I was very upset about that. Okay? This is the first Tron movie that Tron was not in. And they had an opportunity when he goes to the original grid, right? To talk to Flynn. You could have had Tron there. And then Tron could have gotten the permanence code out too and come out and fought with Ares in the real world, and that would have been awesome. But you guys missed that opportunity, and I don't know why. It's in the fucking title. All right. That's enough of that. All right. Do I think there'll be more Tron? I think they wanted it to be. Much like Tron Legacy, they left this one open with their mid-credit scene to do more with it. Again, my presumption is that this movie is going to fucking bomb. bomb in the box office. What do they need to make any money? Oh boy. I'm seeing 180 million. Deadline's got Tron Ares costing 180 million, which means for it to break even, ballpark times 2.5, we're looking at it needs to make 450. And here's the thing, I just don't see it. Now, there is a possibility for this movie where there will be more Tron, right? The Chinese audience might pick up on this one. It might do really well overseas, right? That's possible, right? I don't think we're gonna know for a couple of weeks, so I think that we need to give it a couple of weeks. The projections are slipping. They originally had it at about an 80 to 90 million opening. Now they're looking at 40 to 50. Right? I think if it does 50 million its opening weekend, it might do okay. Yeah, this one's going to be real close. Again, it really depends whether the overseas audience, specifically the Chinese audience and Japanese audiences, really pick up on this one. And who knows, they might. It's possible. But unless that happens, no, I don't see another Tron happening.
Yeah, and you actually brought this up last night, which I thought was really interesting. The writer for this show really hasn't done a whole lot of writing outside of a couple of episodes of Daredevil. Isn't that right, Alex?
Yep. He's a TV writer, TV producer. And again, this is why, and I didn't know that when I made the theory about this feeling like a TV show that they ported over into a movie. But yeah, the writer, he's most known for his work as an executive producer on a bunch of stuff. So we'll see. Anyway, did you guys see Tron Ares? Did you like it? No hate if you liked it. Look, movies hit everybody different. Everybody likes different shit. So we're not down on anybody who liked it. This is just our opinion. But let us know what you think down in the comments below. Sort of holiday weekend juice box ever. It's possible. Yeah. They look like 3D prints from the lasers. They did. With all the extra crap all over them that they have to break off for them to work. Again, conceptual. There was a bunch of concepts in the movie that we thought were neat. I was like, oh, that's a cool concept. Oh, we're not doing anything with. Okay. We're just gonna leave that there. Okay, we just left that there. Sure. I don't know. Okay, moving right along. You actually have another topic.
Whoa, I can actually come up with the topics too.
You can. Do you want to go into this one now?
I mean, it's up to you, Dungeon Master.
It's your call.
What do I need to roll?
I don't know.
Oh, dice. Oh, I do.
You need to roll anything. By the way, guys, give us some more topics. We could talk about the Mariners a little bit, but I'm a little frustrated with them. Shouldn't be going to go Game 5. We'll just say that.
Yep.
But go ahead, Jay. Take us away into topic number 2.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So Fenster. Those of you that do not know who this person is, and it's actually spelled F1NN5TER. So they are a English internet personality, streamer, content creator. They are known for their gaming content and later cultivating a cross-dressing and e-girl persona under the alias Rose. Supposedly, Jude, who is, they go by Fenster online, was born in the year 2000 and originally gained popularity through Minecraft streams. He later launched, quote, Girl Week and, quote, Girl Month challenges, which involved dressing as a female as a donation incentive, which slowly evolved into a central part of their online identity. So recently they have been open about exploring their gender expression while maintaining humor and performance art as part of their brand. This is where all of my friends really kind of hate Fenster, because historically they have very much kind of laughed at like the trans community, made a lot of jokes about the trans community, insisted that they were not trans, that they very much were a male, peak masculinity as they were transitioning. So pretty much my friends viewed Fenster, someone who is making fun of the community just for subs and likes and views. Over time, Fenster did come out as gender fluid and bisexual and began taking HRT in 2024. Now, Fenster has had a few issues in the past, such as in 2023, Twitch suspended them over, quote, prolonged touching of female presenting breasts on stream, which is an ongoing debate over whether their content monetizes or celebrates gender expression. But recently, and the whole reason we are here now, the whole reason why I brought this up is they are in a sex trafficking / coercion allegation kind of issue going on here. So recently on online forums and social media, posts have been circulating over allegations accusing Fenster of sex trafficking of another trans content creator. The claims include that they pressured someone into producing OnlyFans content and failed to compensate them appropriately, stating that if a content creator made content every day for a month, then Fenster would pay them something like $5,000 or $10,000, and Fenster did not. There are some leak screenshots here and documents that were shared online. It has not been verified. As of right now, there's no public legal filings confirming criminal charges against Fenster. Fenster has come out with like in a statement. Fenster claims this is a huge misunderstanding. It was all a joke. It was all for the views. And also stated that pretty much everything that you see is like scripted, and is also fake. Like it's not real. And of course, all of these scandals that come up involving queer creators can reinforce stigma or distrust towards the community during a time of turmoil for the LGBT plus community. But Alex, the question here is, can we really tell the difference between reality and a joke?
The short answer is no. And I'm going to be 1,000% honest. I was doing some backgrounding on this and kind of look at the way we're discussing it. I can't actually tell what's happening here. Like you said, I don't know what's real. I don't know what's a joke. I've seen receipts that look like they come from both sides. There's two, I think you brought up two legitimate issues here. One is, yeah, when stuff like this happens within the LGBTQ community, it just serves to reinforce a lot of very bad stereotypes of the LGBTQ community, and that's damaging. I'm gonna reserve that comment for maybe later. Again, I can't tell what's happening here. Sex trafficking is wrong. Coercing someone into producing adult content is wrong. That should go without saying. As to whether that occurred here, I don't know. Finster appears to be 25. And so, like many people of that age, I'm 100% certain that they will make decisions and do things from a business perspective or from these perspectives that are just dumb. Get this shit in contracts. You know, a lot of streamers that I've met, actually, this is a big problem for a lot of young content creators, period. They don't treat it like a business, right? It's something they fall into because they start it because they just enjoy doing it. And then it turns into something that they're making their living off of. But it takes them a long time to get it to the point where they're treating it like a business. Looking at chat, I don't know if it reaches the level of scumbag. It's tough for me to say. And right, wrong, or indifferent, if you're part of the LGBTQ community, you've got to be on top of this shit. Because if you're not, the people who are against you are going to use it against you. Okay? And you should know that.
Yeah. 100%.
I mean, that's kind of where I land on this. Where do you land at the end? You did a good overview, but what do you think is, where are you landing on this?
I do believe Finster has been around for a while. Like, this is not a content creator that has come out in the past couple of years. I want to say they've been streaming now for at least 6 years. Hang on, let me actually look at this.
It's a while. I've heard of them many times.
Let's see. So their Twitch channel was created in 2018. So 7 years. They're 25 now. So they started at the age of 18. You were very young at the age of 18. And I think Finster is a great example of what happens when you kind of grow up, like as you're still growing mentally, physically, and you start chasing views and chasing subs. I think you blur the lines of like ethics of what you should do and should not do. Like, hey, if you are about, like, if you're thinking that you're about or included in the LGBTQ plus community, maybe don't make content like making fun of it or poking light at it and pissing off that community. So I don't even think like Finster probably knows like the line between like what's a reality and what's a joke. And where like their content persona kind of begins and ends, honestly. As for this, I think like this actual scandal, this one, yeah, I think it's just shitty all the way around. It never should have happened. There is like a video where Finster is talking about like, oh, like I'll pay you 5,000 or 10,000 if you do content every single day. Like, that's a video. You can go look that up.
Okay.
And Finster said like, I forgot what it was, but Finster in their video stated like, oh, like they posted, and this is another thing. This is what brought the scandal to light. Finster posed with a gun, trying to be sexy, and said, ready to take over female spaces. That's going to cause a lot of like online backlash. And I think they knew it. And I think that's why they did it, because they wanted their name brought up. I mean, look at us. We are talking about Finster right now, and Finster has never been brought up on this show. So congratulations, you won. But I don't think Finster realized that these this group that they pissed off, they will sit there and they will dig through all of their content looking for things to bring up to use against Finster.
Yep.
And that's exactly what happened. That's what Finster admits to, this is what happened. They found this video and was like, that's fucked up. And now everyone's freaking out, trying to cancel Finster. Never should have happened.
You've got to just be more careful. You really do. Yeah, you've got to be more careful. But again, people are young. They do stupid crap. Let's see what happens. So, what do you guys think? Let us know down in the comments below. Do you have any more on this one, Jay? Or
no, I think the chat's silent because they're just like Googling who Finster is.
They're like, what the heck? Did I do a thing?
Did you do a thing?
I don't know. No, I'm trying. My Stream Deck was being weird, so I'm gonna end up with like a 2-second video on my computer later today, and that's gonna be fun. Real quick, we'll talk about the Mariners. Yes, they are coming back for Game 5 tomorrow. They shouldn't have gone to a Game 5. George Kirby is on the mound, which gives them a decent chance. They play very well at home, but it's for all the marbles. It shouldn't have gotten to this point. Yesterday was an absolute tragedy. Yeah. Honestly, I think they should have won Game 1. I think and there's a lot of people talking about the umpiring in Game 1 and how that could have definitively affected the game had the umpire not been absolute trash in Game 1 of the series. Yeah, I don't know. Hang on a second. Anyone who uses a professional trainer try to use the power for anything beyond themselves. We'll come back to that one in a minute. I'm trying to think how I want to respond to that. In the YouTube chat. So first off, you have to get into the concept of what is a professional streamer. Oh boy, man. Dog Dad, you brought up something that people have been yapping about on TikTok for a while to move the age of consent and adulthood to 25. And I'm telling you right now, you are opening a big can of fucking worms trying to do that. I think that the reason I say that you shouldn't do that is this. For those watching in the live stream and anybody who's watching this later on YouTube, okay. Here, let me do this. So bringing up the idea of shifting the culture to making adulthood at 25. Again, this is not a new idea. This has been around for a bit. I see it on TikTok. It pops up periodically, right? And I'm aware that's when scientists say our brain is fully developed. Here's the reason I disagree with the concept, right? I am a 42-year-old man. I know I don't look it. Thank you. The interminable baby face. Okay. I am a 42-year-old man, right? And yes, I am aware that our brains are not fully developed till 25, and I could go on a fucking thing about that for a while, especially the shit that I did when I was young. But where I think that we shouldn't do that, and where I think the actual problem is this. And I talked to a lot of Gen Z people about this. The mistakes that I was allowed to make as an adult, right, legally, and I'm using that in a legal term, right, as an adult between the ages of 18 and 26, 27, right, are what shaped me into the person I am today. Now, the nice thing about when I was 18 to 26, 27 is there wasn't a smartphone in every single person's pocket on the entire fucking planet who could record my drunken shenanigans outside of a bar, post it to TikTok, and wreck my life forever. Okay? We could make mistakes that were at least contained to only those who witnessed them or those moments. And then we could take the time to reflect on those mistakes, make positive change for ourselves, and become better, more well-rounded adults as we got older. The issue now is, for whether you want it or not. Now, again, we're coming off this Finster topic. Finster chose to put themselves in the public square, much like I have, much like Jay has. Okay, we have chosen and made a conscious choice on the multiple platforms that I've been on for the last 9 years, right? And while I am not a huge streamer or content creator, I've been out there for a long time with a middling number of subscribers and followers. But that was in my 30s, right? I had already made those mistakes. I knew who I was as an adult, and I wasn't making those mistakes that everybody needs to make between the ages of 18 and 25, right? On blast on TikTok, right? Where a rando could record me doing something goof fuck ball at the bar, and now that shit's on TikTok and going viral, and my boss is gonna, and all the shit, right? Which is why Gen Z is so risk avoidant. It's actually one of the reasons that researchers believe Gen Z drinks so much less than millennials, because Gen Z young adults right now are keenly fucking aware that if they get fucking hammered out and do something schwecko, right? That shit might be on social media the next day, right? And your life might be fucking over. Right? So I consider myself fortunate in that I get to live in this era where streaming and TikTok and these things are things, but that I don't have to make the mistakes that I made. And I made fucking plenty. Believe me, that I don't have to make those mistakes in the era of Twitter and TikTok and Facebook and all this other shit. That's the reason why I don't. People need to be able to make those mistakes as young adults with the full power and responsibility of being an adult. There's consequences, and we need to keep those there. Okay? I don't believe in extending juvenile court to 25, right? You need to be able to make those mistakes as a full legal adult so that you can learn from them, right? That's why I don't think that this concept that's been bandied about of pushing the age of consent and the age of majority to 25, I just don't think it's practical, nor do I think it's a great idea. Because we already infantilize young people enough and don't make them grow up and don't let them grow up, right? That if we push that out to 25, you're just infantilizing 18 to 25-year-olds who are doing things without that same level of consequence, if that makes sense. Like, Jay, see, you've heard me rant here now for about 4 minutes. Is any of what I'm saying making sense? Like where do you land on this idea?
Nope. Wasn't listening at all. I just tune you out. No, I'm just kidding. Yes. No, yeah. I think you like definitely nailed it. It's you. Like even myself, I'm 36. Yeah, we made mistakes. We did dumb shit. And you know what? Like, it wasn't on the internet. It wasn't recorded, and we grew up and we learned from it. And I think when you are like always afraid of making a mistake because you're afraid that you're going to wake up and your life is just destroyed, you're not going to live life. You're also like becoming a person who everyone wants you to be and not actually becoming yourself. And this is also kind of my thing with cancel culture. There are some things that people should be canceled over. 100% agree. But then there's also some things that I'm like, And a lot of times, like people, and you never know, everything online's fake, but like when people are like, hey, I'm so sorry, blah, 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 here's what I'm doing, I'm trying to get better. We don't know if that's true or not. But if it is true and cancel culture is still like, no, you're forever dead, like you're canceled, you know, F you, up yours, then like you're kind of like robbing that person the chance to
learn and grow.
Learn and grow. So it's kind of there's a lot to it. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just glad. I am 100% glad that I am not like 17 right now.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I have a tomorrow 11-year-old daughter, right? And she is growing up in the fucking thick of it, right? And I think about these things, right? Where when I was a young kid, there was no cell phone. So like bullying ended when I got home, right?
Yeah.
The kids couldn't follow you into your fucking house. Okay.
Yeah.
Like there was a lot of things that we fucking took for granted because we didn't know. We had no idea to see the future. But yeah, this is one of the reasons. And it actually goes down to relationships and dating. I've talked to a lot of Gen Z men, and I know this is a thing because I see these on TikTok, right? It's like girl surreptitiously records a date, and the guy just sounds like a dork, right? And he kind of makes him. But guess what? That shit's on the internet now, man. And a lot of guys who are that age are afraid of that. That's what they're terrified about. They're terrified about their date surreptitiously recording their date, them saying something done, and that shit's memorialized forever, right? It affects how people date. It affects how people go through their lives because they're constantly afraid of being outed on the internet. Now, I combat this now because this is now something we all have to worry about, in that I voluntarily put myself on the internet, right? That also, though, and I think Jay will speak to this too, means that I tend to have a switch in my brain, right? Where I just constantly am thinking about how this comes out in the social personas that I have built online over the last decade. Right? Since basically, like 2015, 2016. That's how long I've been doing this. So, I mean, do you find yourself thinking about that now? About how your online persona and the online stuff that you do can affect your real world?
Oh yeah, 100%. So much, in fact, that before we launched the first podcast, I went to my HR and I was like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this podcast. It is not work appropriate. It's going to be adult. Is that something that's okay? And they gave me the guidelines. There's like, here's what you do, XYZ. Follow these guidelines, you're fine. We don't care. Okay, cool. But then even with that, having that podcast, all three of us, we would sit down and we would discuss topics. And it's like, okay, like do we really want to touch on that? Like, is that something that we could say? And keep in mind that podcast, we focused on a lot of stuff. The LGBTQ.
Check it out, by the way. It's Unnatural to Some, and they've got some great episodes.
Yeah, we covered LGBTQ. Obviously, the other two podcast hosts were trans, covered BDSM topics, and those are communities that if you mess up and you say the wrong thing, you are just done. Like they do not forgive you. So I definitely thought a lot about like, okay, what do I say? How do I say it? That one was really nice because we never went live. Really, it was we recorded and we could go back and edit and be like, oh, I sounded dumb. Cut that. But it also took forever to actually get episodes out, which sucked. This one, I'm starting to get a little bit more relaxed of like, no, like these things should be said. We shouldn't like shy away from like the topic, but then I very much know that like in the back of my head, like shit, if I say the wrong thing, I might see it in the next 5 years, you know, when I'm running for, I don't know, the city water board commission. I don't know why what? But anyways, it might freaking come up, be like, oh, here's Jay saying that Gatorade is better than water. Canceled right there. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And like previous podcasts that I did before the Error Code show, which is what morphed into the Error Code show eventually, previous podcasts that I did, we stayed away from a lot of topics just because of that thing. Now with this show, I'm a little more open to it because fuck it, right? But could it affect my professional life? Absolutely, it could, right? But I also, again, am also now 42 and have the courage of my convictions. And anything that I say here, I pretty much stand by. Like I believe in this shit. So take that for what it's worth. So I hope that kind of answered that question. That now I got to go back and even look at the question. The 25 years without legal adulthood status. Yeah. Well, that was 12 minutes on that. Let us know. Something dark side. Something complete. Yes. Well, that's going to be a weird way that YouTube tweaks that fucking live. Why? Because we did two at once. Oh, we got canceled. Game over. Okay. Well, I'm waiting for the chat window to boot back up, but I think we are back live again. We're going to find out here in a minute.
Yeah. I can see us live.
Good. I wish I could see the chat window, but I can't. So, take that for what it's worth. Since we're on these topics, Jay, the HRC Seattle dinner is Saturday, right? Okay. And you and your spouse and my spouse, and who else is going?
People from work and other people's spouses and human beings will be going to the Human Rights Campaign dinner in Seattle Saturday.
But you're going. My wife is going.
Yep.
So, but what you pointed out is that the HRC Seattle dinner is Saturday. You were all going, but it's also National Coming Out Day. Right?
No.
And I thought you know, this is the first time obviously we did the topic a few weeks ago about your starting your process here, right? Is this mean more to you now, this dinner?
Yeah. So why don't
we back up and say, how do you and Jessica, Jay works with my spouse at their real world jobs where they make real money. They work for the same company, which is also how I met Jay. Okay. I met Jay through my spouse who works for this company where Jay does real world things that matter, right? Not silly podcasts with me. But all that being said, you are both on like the Human Rights Campaign committee at your company, or you were, or maybe something.
So yeah. Okay. Let me back up. We are both on our OPCO's, essentially DEI. We call it something different, but we're on the DEI committee for our OPCO.
Got it.
And then I run the conglomerate that owns us, Pride, for all OPCOs. So with that, I get some perks. They will send me to Washington, D.C. And then locally, like, I get involved with the Human Rights Campaign. That is a national organization. They are very anti-Trump. So they raise up money to fund pretty much to fight everything Trump is doing. But then they also do a lot of good stuff out there. And then they have chapters all over the country. One chapter is here in Seattle. So I get involved with the Seattle location. And I'm also involved with the GSBA here in Seattle. So with that, the conglomerate that owns us was like, Jay, do you want a stack of like dinner tickets that are typically very expensive and I would not pay for? And I said yes. And I was like, hey, what a concept. I'm a part of like these two committees. I can find people locally in Seattle that are employees that can go to this dinner and represent the conglomerate that owns us, but then also the opco that we work at.
Mm-hmm.
So there we are.
My wife is one of the people attending this dinner with Jay and their spouse. To answer the chat question, no, I'm not going. I'm gonna stay home with our child. You know, I don't know, sort magic cards, do something. Right? It's not that I don't support the organization. Jay and my spouse know that I very much support the HRC and organizations like this. Yes, they're a good organization, and I think it's great that they're going to go, and I think they're going to have a great time. I think it's a great opportunity for them to meet and network with other people who want to work on these projects and work in these endeavors. I'm going to use the word endeavors, especially in times like this, right? I also would like to point out that we are very fortunate that we live in a city like Seattle, where there's a lot of places in this country where these dinners don't get hosted, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of places where these kind of dinners would get protested. There's a lot of places that are very unsafe and not cool for people of color, the LGBTQ community, et cetera, ad nauseum, ad infinitum, right now, okay? In this moment, okay? So the fact that we need to acknowledge the privilege we have for living in the part of the country that we do, right? And that the opportunity is there for these things to happen. But I do think it's good that they get to meet other people to hopefully come up with, you know, new lines of attack in advocacy, new ways to go about it. You know, I'm sure they're going to meet some cool people. I'm sure they'll have a great time. My wife is stressing about what she's going to wear.
Yeah.
I don't give an opinion. Because A, my opinion doesn't matter. Not really. And B, there's just no winning that fight. I learned a lot, and I love my spouse. I've been with her for a very long time. But there have been times where she's like, I don't like how this looks. Do you like how this looks? And I'll be like, yes, I like how this looks. And she'll be like, I don't believe you. I'm not wearing it. And I'm like, what the fuck did you ask me? You know?
Man.
Or
That's
she'll
funny.
be like, do you like this? And I'll be like, honestly, no, I don't think it's very flattering. And she'll be like, oh, why are you saying that? I'm like, you asked me. See? So yes.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
But yeah, facts. To go back to your original question, does this mean more to me this year? Yes. Because so let me like kind of break down a quick timeline here. I first obviously came out to my spouse. I've been going to like weekly therapy every week for 2 years now. So I've been working through it, came out to my spouse. Pretty much the next group I came out to was work. My job is very, you know, put pronouns in your email signature, change my pronouns, came out with kind of like a statement to the people I work with, to kind of give them a heads up and let them know, like, why is Jay wearing a skirt to work all of a sudden? They went from big biker dude with a beard, and now they're wearing heels and a skirt. So that was pretty much like, and then, you know, maybe a couple of other people, and then the podcast kind of question came up in chat. We covered it, talked about it. I decided to make the HRC dinner and also the fact that it's on National Coming Out Day to be like the official day that I come out to everyone on social media in my own personal life. What's been going on? Because there's a lot of people that still don't know. And so this week, this is all coming to a head, right? Like, I know this date is coming. This week has been very hectic because I'm trying to tell people that I really care about so they just don't find out on Facebook, because I think that's kind of shitty. And it's been kind of mixed results a little bit here. And then also just like appointments. So today I went to a endocrinologist. I probably said that wrong. In downtown Seattle, and we talked about HRT. Let's see here. Tomorrow I'm getting my hair cut and dyed. Saturday is the big day. So yeah, there's been a lot on my mind. And I think coming out on Saturday as trans on Facebook. When I'm from the South, I just know ahead of time I'm going to have to, one, post it, because my plan is to post me in a dress at HRC, be like, Happy National Coming Out Day. I know I'm not going to look at my phone for the rest of the night. And then the next day I'm gonna have to go in and just start like deleting and blocking people, because it's probably gonna get pretty ugly. So yes, long story short, this day does mean a lot. It's a lot different for me this year than previously.
And we're all very proud of you, and we're all very happy. And yeah, I'm glad that this is going on that way. I think it's going to be good. I have faith. And at the very minimum, you got a lot of people both who watch this show, and in your life personally, who support you. And we appreciate everybody who's watched the show, who's throwing. I see a lot of very kind comments in the chat right now. And I appreciate that. I'm glad for that.
Thank you, everyone. And yeah, something I told today at today's appointment, because they ask you, do you have a good support system? And I was like, oh yeah, like I do. Like my wife is super supportive. She's amazing. When my sister-in-law found out that what my plan was, she immediately got a ticket, came out here. She's staying with us right now. I am offering support, which is great.
I met her last night. She seemed very nice.
Oh, she is like the nicest person you're going to meet. And yeah, work is super, super supportive. And then you just have like warriors also like all over the place. Like Jessica is a huge like warrior that like if someone slips up and says a wrong pronoun, she like kind of pulls them into a back room, and I don't see them for the rest of the day. I'm like, what happened?
You're talking about my wife?
Yeah, your wife.
I think she gets joy out of that. Hitting people with sticks.
Maybe. Yeah.
So
she comes back like with a grin on her face. So.
But it comes from a place of love, and it also comes from a place of and we've talked about this on the show a bunch of times. It comes from a place of, again, I still feel, God, I could almost do this as a separate topic. There's a thing where when you understand it and you're exposed to it and you it's around you, it becomes so much easier to understand, and it makes you so much more frustrated when other people don't get it. Right? Because you're like, I get this. These people get this. Why the fuck don't you get this? Right? Yeah. And I think that's where a lot of that comes from. Is how the fuck do you guys not understand like what the right thing to do here is, and you're doing the wrong thing. So yeah, that's where that comes from, is hitting people and just that. If it makes you feel better, and I'm doing this intentionally, chat, I need you to back me up here. if it makes you feel better, we're also pissing off right wingers.
Hmm.
Okay. I'm not going to show you the chat, the comment section. Because I get all the stuff, viewer posts and comments through my dashboard. Pissing off some right wingers. We have been for a few months now. They're making comments.
Like they're commenting on YouTube?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Really? What are they saying?
They made a comment about the they them thing a while ago. And another one where they were talking about propaganda. And not specifically, this isn't all just like the stuff about the LGBTQ stuff. Someone said you're going to learn freedom about consequences soon.
Okay.
You have freedom of speech, but not freedom from consequences. And you're close to learning about consequences yourself.
What the hell?
I remember when I told you, so this is something funny, Chad. This is something I'm going to share with you. The day that I was one of the most happy, we had done a review of a movie. I don't remember which movie it was. And we got called shills, right?
Yeah.
We got paid shills. We got called paid shills. And I was like, yes, we made it in the social media space. We finally got called paid shills. I've been waiting to get called a shill for so long, right? Because that really means that you've made it, right? When I start getting vague threats, right, about consequences for freedom of speech, we've made it. Okay. I really, it makes me feel warm inside.
This like just reminds me of, you guys probably don't know who this is, probably before your time. Kurt Cobain. Yes, that was a joke. Kurt Cobain made a comment during an interview because Weird Al made a parody of one of their songs, and they were like, you know, Kurt, are you upset about that? And he was like, oh no, like this means we made it. Like when he did that, we were like, holy shit, like like we're something now. Like, and I don't know, your comment just kind of reminds me of that interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. If right wingers are getting mad at me and talking about how things are propaganda and making vague threats, right? We've made it. It's wonderful. Thank you. I'll take hate watches, motherfuckers. You don't get it. Like, I will take hate watches. What's ironic is the stuff where, again, like, it's the stuff that we're like the consensus is just 100% the other way. Like, yep, you're right. I'm like, thanks. Like, I get less of a kick out of that, right? We did a short where we extracted from the podcast. You guys heard it, where we were talking about how it would help small businesses to have universal health care. I uploaded that to TikTok. I have yet to have anybody disagree with me in the damn comments section. It's got like, oh wait, hang on, let me look. I don't even know how many views it has. Almost 4,000. Yeah, 3,600 views, 39 comments, and everybody's like, yep, that's all very true. And I'm like, thanks for agreeing, but it's not as much fun, right? Yeah. Like dead ass. Yeah, but no, I'm not gonna. Look, we got to get Jay deeper down the rabbit hole in content creation before we let Jay dive deep into the comments section.
Well, I mean, I got hit hard when I created the Facebook page.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So there were like death threats.
Never mind. Facebook. Yeah. Facebook's always worse, dude. I don't even know. Yeah. Facebook's terrible.
Yeah. That was
fucking terrible. All right. I don't think we have any other planned topics for tonight, just to let you guys know. But we did that. Brief stuff. There's a new Game of Thrones trailer, right? For the new Game of Thrones show coming out in January.
Yeah.
It looks pretty good. It looks different. It appears that while the official, I know her. It
Did your wife
appears
just walk in?
no. This is somebody I've met before. Um, it appears that the new unannounced Universes Beyond set that everybody was talking about with Magic is in fact going to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And it
Oh,
appears that Crystal Frazier is one of the primary designers for that. Crystal Frazier was at Pathfinder for a very long time. I've met her a few times. Um, yeah, she was at Paizo, Cobalt Press, Palladium Books. Like she's done work for a lot of people, and I know that she's at Wizards now. She went
hmm.
semi-viral a few years ago for a thing that happened in the trans community, actually, um, about a Vogue cover. Where was that? Um, Yeah, so she's been in the community for a while, and it looks like she's the primary designer on that.
Hmm.
Um, yes, they're doing a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Universes Beyond set for Magic the Gathering. That appears to be the unannounced one, and the official announcement's supposed to come out tomorrow sometime. But I don't record tomorrow, and somebody spotted a van, a TMNT Magic the Gathering van at New York Comic Con because New York Comic Con's
Nice.
happening right now. There hasn't been a
Nice.
lot of news at a New York Comic Con. Um, did you see what other Seattle things have you done lately, Jay? That's what the chat's asking.
Oh my gosh. That is so funny because literally, so I left the appointment today, and my wife and sister-in-law were there. I think I'm just gonna drop the in-law. My wife and sister were there, and we were talking about where to eat, and I was like, "Do you like teriyaki? Because Seattle is like known for teriyaki." We went to an Indian restaurant, but no, and also Dog Dad, also very funny. We also sat there and almost, as we were waiting for to get called back into the back room, um, for the doctor, we almost booked tickets for the underground tour, but the only issue was we didn't know how long everything was going to take, so we didn't do that. So two things almost happened today, but did not actually happen.
Look, the big thing you've got to do is take your sister to get a big bag of dicks.
She does love dicks, so okay. Wow,
Big
we're just like
big
we're just
bag of dicks,
jumping in.
baby. Right?
We
By the way, somebody tried to do that on Twitter. Somebody was talking about them possibly deploying National Guard to Seattle, and somebody was pushing back against it on Twitter. And the insult that they came back to the Seattle native with was "eat a bag of dicks," and they posted a picture of dicks, and they were like, "Not the right insult to use against somebody from Seattle. Don't mind if I do."
Oh, that's funny. Oh my gosh.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're
So
all about dicks.
funny thing is, my sister is planning our trip to Japan. When are we going to Japan? When are we going to Japan? During the Penis Festival.
Nice. And what is that? So I can plan it. So I can plan to get co-hosts in here. I always fail to plan to get alternate co-hosts when you're gone.
I think it's like the beginning of April.
Okay.
Yeah.
You took so many vacations this year that I got stuck.
Yeah.
See, Jay doesn't do it. You know what? I'm gonna build the producing setup on your computer so that you can produce on your own too.
There we go.
Because the problem which you guys don't know is I do all the production stuff on my site. Right, so all the little buttons and everything that gets hit, that's me. Okay. Anyway. So, did I have anything else in here? I thought I saw something else out there. YouTube chat would like to know, what kind of creative expression do you personally enjoy doing?
Holy crap. Creative? Dear God.
You
Oh
draw,
my
do you
God.
paint?
I draw.
Do you sculpt
Um,
giant dicks?
do I do what?
Sculpt dicks. We were on the dicks thingy.
No, I do not sculpt dicks. I draw. I guess that's like my number one creative outlet is yeah, I do that.
I wish I could draw. I've always actually wished I could draw. I can't. I've tried. Terrible at it. Terrible at it. What's new in the world of TTRPGs? Nothing. Like legit, it's just that industry is in a constant cycle of mini hype cycle, like when Daggerheart came out or something like that. There is a Starfinder 2E video game supposedly coming soon. I heard about that. I'm still playing Pathfinder 2E and I am loving it. I think it is vastly better than Dungeons and Dragons. But unfortunately, there's just not a lot going on right now. It's the same stuff, and a lot of the news that you'll see around tabletop RPGs has to do with like Critical Role or Vox Machina and stuff that, quite frankly, I'm going to be honest, I don't care about.
Same.
And I don't watch.
Yep.
So I'm not really into it. You know, and there's only so many things I can keep up with at a time. You know, like I'm behind on Peacemaker. I've been watching a little bit of other stuff.
Oh my god. Oh, dude, you have to watch.
I need to catch up. You need to talk to my wife about watching the show with me. I don't know. I'm like, just watch the fucking show.
It's insanely good. Like it is insanely good. I think she's gonna
like Lanterns because it's like all like murder procedural, but with Green Lanterns, and she loves those kind of shows.
I mean, Alex, do you want to know?
Somebody asked me today. I already know.
No, how many people are in this show that were in the Superman movie?
Oh, a crap ton.
Yeah, there's a shit ton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a crap ton. I've seen some spoilery stuff about what's kind of been going on, and I know the big twist, you know. So I want to sit down and watch it. Again, I have not had time. So, still working on that. Summer Kids on Bikes campaign. Kids on Bikes is a good game. It's actually a really solidly written RPG. Yeah. All right, chat. Unless you guys get something else in there, we're out of topics. We're out of topics, gentlemen. There's some stuff that I'm choosing not to cover yet. Yes, I'm aware of the Gaza thing. I hope the ceasefire holds. I kind of want to buy a frog costume and go to Portland. There's now a frog brigade in Portland.
Oh my god.
So yeah, there's a small part of me that wants to go buy a frog costume and go to Portland for a weekend. Just for funsies. You know. Current favorite comfort food struggle meal. We did food a while ago. We were talking about specific ones. Do you have a comfort food struggle meal? Like something where you're like, I'm having a bad day. This is what I want to eat.
100%. And I think this is like probably the most Southern thing I could probably say. It is biscuits and gravy.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Yeah.
All right. That's fair.
What about you?
Honestly, especially if I don't have to cook it.
Seattle dog?
No. It's enchiladas. That's my
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Big fucking platter of enchiladas. Oh man.
Nice.
You know, That's my stuff. Especially if I don't have to cook it. I cook it. I still cook it. I cook it well, and I like my enchiladas. But, oof, man, they can be a lot of work. Right?
Yeah.
That and carnitas, man.
Yeah.
Like, my wife is always like, make the carnitas. I'm like, you realize it takes me 5 hours to make those.
Oh my
It's like, make
gosh.
carnitas. I'm like, it takes all goddamn day. Drake did lose his defamation suit against Kendrick, which is funny. All right. Spaghetti and meatballs with jar sauce. That's a fair one. That's a fair one. With the store bought in the foil bag garlic bread, I'm down. I'll eat that shit all day long. Yeah, screw Jake, and I love Not Like Us. I still think it's a great song. I was still shocked that they let him do that at the Super Bowl. Right? When I'm watching him be like, must be A minor, and I'm like, oh, we're really going there in the middle of the Super Bowl. I love it. Jay, go to Totem Restaurant in Everett. Great chicken fried steak. I also have a good, there's a really good brunch place over in Mill Creek that I just started eating at not too long ago. It's really good. But yeah, dude, some good enchiladas. Oof. Melty cheese. Yeah. So. Well, thank you very much, chat. We were feeling very like, oh, at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
It was both of us were feeling pretty rough. Jay, you put that in the chat, and now I want to throw things at you.
Why? What?
Okay. Are you trying to start like a gang war in the middle of our podcast? Where's the best teriyaki? Right?
Was it like Yoshi's? I think
Oh my
someone
God.
said last time. Yoshi's.
Dude, yeah, and I need to get down to Astoria. Somebody's reminded me about that. And I do love molcajete. Toshi's, right, is great.
Yoshi's.
Happy Teriyaki in Georgetown is awesome, right? But that's literally like that's like gang war level discussion here is where the best teriyaki place is, okay? And I'm not trying to have that. Really, the big trick is what's the best one close to you? And that to me is a big debate, like in the area I'm in right now. Best teriyaki. Happy Teriyaki number 45. I've been to that one. Dude. Yeah. I know people that used to have fights about who had the best teriyaki downtown. All right. Now, I will say, I don't know if they're still open. Let's find out. Okay, my favorite hangover breakfast. They are still open. Okay. This place is a dive hole in the wall in Georgetown, but it has, in my opinion, the best hangover breakfast. What the hell just happened to my thing? The best hangover breakfast in Seattle. Like, full stop. Okay? And that is the 9-pound hammer. Okay? I absolutely love this place. Okay? Where's the breakfast stuff? Oh, here we go. Yeah, this place. Where's that? This breakfast burrito right here. Oh boy. Or the Irish Benedict. I've had their Irish Benedict. Right? Corned beef with 2 poached eggs on toasted rye with hash browns and hollandaise sauce. Okay? Corned beef hash. Oh yeah, dude. This is the best hangover breakfast in the city. I stand by that. Okay? It is my favorite place to go. Before I had a child, okay, I lived in this neighborhood, and even when Jess and I were early married and like dating, like this was the place to hit up on a Saturday or Sunday morning after drinking heavily in the city the night prior. Okay.
Nice.
Dude, the best. And my favorite hole in the wall places are all down there in Georgetown. It is, in my opinion, the most underrated neighborhood in Seattle. Is Georgetown. Okay? And I will fight people on that. Okay?
Oh, wait. Wait a second. Have I been to the 9 Pound Hammer? Drunk?
It's possible. There used to be an awesome pizza place called Stellar's, which apparently is now just Georgetown Pizza and Arcade. I also used to go to the Georgetown Liquor Company, right? Because they had old school video games, great booze for cheap, and old school video games, right? I just went to Waffle House when I was in Atlanta with a friend of mine who had never been to Waffle House, and we were walking around. We just landed in Atlanta. We were waiting for our hotel to be ready, and we were getting breakfast, and we're walking through Atlanta, and he was like, "Where's we eating?" I was like, "There's a Waffle House. We are eating it waffled, okay, smothered and covered, baby." Oh, wow. I didn't realize that I did this. By the way, hashtag not sponsored. I actually have the 9 Pound Porter in my hand right now, which is from the Georgetown Brewing Company, and the 9 Pound Hammer. I had an account at the Georgetown Brewing Company when I lived with all my buddies up in Georgetown, right up on South Beacon Hill. I always thought Georgetown was high crime. It is, for the wrong people, and I liked that.
Oh God.
Here's the thing: I didn't need yuppies in my neighborhood. Okay, if you're driving a Jag or a Benz or a Range Rover or any of that bullshit, get the fuck out of my neighborhood. Okay, I want a hole in the wall where the bar's a little sticky, the drinks are reasonably priced, and the food's gonna fucking kick ass because there's a dude behind the counter who's been a short order for 25 years, right? And is just knows how to make shit, right? He doesn't use a recipe book. No, he just makes shit, right? The best burgers I've ever had were at fucking dive bars where it's fucking, again, greasy shit, right? I would not be opposed to a Waffle House in Washington State. You can open a Waffle House.
That was always my go-to.
Mhm.
You're drunk, you go to a Waffle House.
When I was in the Army in the South, I was stationed in the South. You're hammered at 3 a.m, okay? Big ass fucking platter plate at Waffle House, and they will let you sober up.
Yep.
With coffee, and again, smothered and covered. Okay? That's how you get your hash browns. 2 eggs over medium, big ass fucking waffles.
Oh, that reminds me of the Bloodhound Gang song.
Okay? I don't know if somebody's saying, hell, win the lottery dream retirement job is open a franchise of a Waffle House. That's nice. Yeah, no, I kind of like crime in certain areas of the city because I want certain people to stay the fuck out. Okay? The first time I took my wife to my mom's house when we were dating, she was worried her car was going to get stolen. And I had to assure her that we don't steal cars in the neighborhood. You go to the rich people neighborhood to steal their cars. Okay? She was like, "What?" And I was like, "No, like your car, you're straight. They all know my family. It's good. Okay? We're fine. It's Section 8 housing. We're good. They don't rob people here. You go other places to rob people. Nobody here has shit."
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay?
Yeah, that's fair.
I hate to say it, but I almost feel more comfortable. Like, I actually had this discussion with my boss. My boss flew in, and he's a very suburb yuppie guy. And he's not a bad dude. Not a bad guy. But we got to talking. We were all at dinner, and we were talking about suburbs. And I live in the suburbs now. And I'm going to be honest. I like my house, right? Like the physical structure of the building that I live in. Okay? I fucking hate this neighborhood. I fucking hate the suburbs. I absolutely can't stand them. I miss living in a place where I could walk places, right? And not have one option for where to walk to, right? When Jess and I first got married, we had a house on Beacon Hill, and there was 9 restaurants and bars within a very short walk of my house, and I loved it. And it was a little dirty, and it was a little fucked up, but I knew the people. My daughter, when she was little, even, we still lived in that neighborhood. She'd go down to the Korea Mart on the street. There was a little farmer's market in a lot that you couldn't build a regular building in. It was literally a little triangle lot. I can actually show you where the fuck it is, too. Hang on. Where's it at? Right there. Bien. Okay, there it is. Okay. You see this right here? I'm gonna show the browser, okay? Because this is the neighborhood I lived in. This little triangle lot right here, you can't build anything else. This is like a ramshackle thing of like 4 buildings that they've stitched together with like duct tape and dental floss. Okay. Let me see if I can get the street view. Yeah, there's a street view. Love it. Okay. Like, there's like a weird overhangy thingy here. And like part of a shipping container over there. Okay. And this was the little fruit stand in my neighborhood in Seattle. Okay. McPherson's. And they had like other like sundry shit. Like fucking, yeah, it's right by the VA hospital. Right. They got like milk and butter and cheese and just some basic shit. But they had dirt ass cheap vegetables. Okay. And fruits that were fucking next to nothing. And again, you can't really build anything else here. And you can see it better from the top where it's like, there's this building that was originally there. And then they just kind of added overhangs. Like right here, there's that shipping container. There's another shipping container right there where they store shit. Okay. This place right here is a fucking dope ass Cuban place. It's a Cuban coffee shop. Okay. That I used to go to when it was snowing out and they were great. There's a little Korean mart that was right. They couldn't get rid of it. Right there. It called Beacon Hill Foods. Right? There's bars on the window. But my daughter used to go in there. And when we moved, the guy who ran that place wrote her a poem. The old Korean guy wrote my 4-year-old daughter a poem.
Oh.
Okay? And she knew that guy. My mother-in-law used to walk her stroller down there from the time she was like 2. Okay? Like, we knew the neighborhood. It was just comfortable. Nobody was really sure what was in this building right here. Okay, so you got the Korea Mart. That's the fucking Cuban coffee place. Nobody was really sure what that was. It was just kind of always there. Maybe some crime. We don't know. I didn't care. Okay? But that was like a 6-minute walk from my house. Right? And I absolutely love that neighborhood. And if we could have found a house the size that I live in now in that neighborhood that was less than $1 bajillion, I would have fucking stayed there. Okay? I know we haven't done a Seattle segment in a long time, but I tell you, man, I fucking hate the suburbs. Anyway, I'm done. That's my rant. There is something nice about those neighborhoods. Yeah. Dude, when you're... Look, I want it to be a little dirty. Jay, am I wrong? Like, am I fucked up? Is this just my city guy version of trashiness that I just enjoy?
No, I mean, no, I've always kind of said that, like, I want to, like, kind of live in a place like pretty much like what you just described, where like I could go to a bar and like everyone knows your name, you know? Kind of had that in Florida. There was a restaurant called Quorum's, very similar to Waffle House, but just a little bit better food. But I could walk to it. And it got to the point where like I would walk in and they would be like, "Oh, Jay, do you want your usual?" And I was like, "Yes." I do kind of miss that. So no, I think, yeah. And also back in Florida, very similar thing. Like if people know that you're from that area, right? Like they're super nice. They'll try to help you, blah, blah, blah. But then like outsiders are kind of like, get the hell out of here. So no, I don't think you're crazy. I kind of miss it. That was like one of the things that I miss about like moving away from my hometown is like, I don't know the neighborhoods. I don't know I don't have like all these memories like growing up and stuff, like on the streets and stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't think you're messed up.
So I don't know if you know this, but Google like Street View, you can go back to previous dates.
I
Right?
did not know that.
Yeah, you can. So I'm gonna do this. So this is the house we lived in. It's this tiny little townhouse. This was the first house that Jess and I lived in. It's actually 2 units. So there's one house here and one house here, and that's actually my Jeep and Jess's Hyundai in front of the house because there's no stuff. So there's 2 units. There's this one and this one, and we lived in this tiny ass little fucking townhouse. Yep, with a red door, right, and everything else. This is right after we moved out. But this one, that's us. Jess painted that door red, but it goes down, and so like the basement was part of the house, right? But yeah, that's like these tiny little townhouses. That these ones were all built in the 1940s, and somebody went in and gutted under the studs, just put in new plumbing and electrical. But yeah, like this is. If I could literally like rip my house out of its roots and just stick it on that lot, I'd be fucking thrilled. I love that town. Are you gonna go back there when the kid is gone? I don't know. I mean, honestly, I got another 7 years to figure that out. I honestly, it's probably gonna be somewhere like downtown Edmonds, right, where it's walkable. Yes, I want to downsize and go walkable when I don't have kids at home anymore. So. Oh yeah, and then they had these fucked up apartments that were burned down behind us. That were great. That one over here burned down too, which was awesome. You know, but there was like a big community garden like half a block away too, you know, where all the hippies hung out, and a skate park, and the VA hospital, and everything was close by. You know, and the park was really interesting. And I still remember that park the night that Pokemon Go premiered, and the whole community came out, and you saw old people talking to young kids about where the Pokestops were and where they were grabbing Pikachus. It was amazing. I'd never seen anything like it. It was awesome. So, there you go. All right, folks. Jay, I think we should call it for the night. Don't you?
Yep.
I think
so.
All right, folks. Thank you for joining us this week. Come see us next week. Maybe Jay will have some cool stuff to recount about the HRC dinner, right? Jay, take some notes while you're there, right? Jay should have their new hairstyle by then. I'm personally very curious to see this because it's the same hairdresser that does my wife's hair too, and my daughter actually.
Yeah,
and they're very talented.
They are. And I'm also very curious to see this. I've never dyed my hair before, so and it's a little crazy. So
but we backed it down a little bit.
We backed it down a little bit because the hairdresser was like, you've never dyed your hair. Your hair is naturally curly. You want a style that's straight. This is a lot of upkeep. Don't drop $500 on a haircut that you might hate. Let's do something cheaper, and then we can always add to it, which I think is great advice. But it's still, it's still going to be multicolored.
All right, everybody. So yeah, come back next week. CJ's new cool haircut. Maybe Jay said he'll have some stuff about the HRC dinner. Hopefully we'll get some more news. New York Comic Con just started. So usually right after a Comic-Con, we actually get a pretty decent amount of, especially something like New York, we get a decent amount of stuff. So hopefully next week we'll have some fun topics for you guys related from New York Comic-Con. So thank you and have a wonderful night, everybody.
Night.
Bye.